for a payday loan, right, that's like one of your last resorts, isn't it? Because you cannot get the money off no one, because not everyone else around you is broke, right?
Right.
You cannot go to a bank because they ain't going to touch you, because obviously your credit or whatever it is not very good, so you can't go to them. So who do you go to? You need money. You're desperate. Say you've just lost your job, or you're about to lose your job, or, as we were discussing off air, the job you have is not enough for you to, pay your bills and live. So you're desperate. You're caught between a rock and a hard place. What do you do? This is the thing. What do you do? So then someone says, okay, you go to a payday loan. You are going to agree to the exorbitant interest rates and such because you're desperate. You need the money, innit? You ain't think about nothing else. Just give me that money.
Well,
I need that paper.
And let me approach it from the business side and say I'm the person who is the payday loan person. I've got the money.
Right.
And even, people know because they've had friends and relatives that have done the same thing, I'm sure. But from a business standpoint, when that money is loaned to that person, they're taking a higher risk because that person, as you mentioned, they may not have the credit rating that somebody else may have. But they're taking a higher risk in giving me the $15. And so they're charging me $5 to give me the $15, which is higher than if I had the $15 myself, I wouldn't need it anyway. Or my family may just say, hey, here's $15, give it back to me when you can.
Right.
Well, they're saying, well, John Doe, you are a risk because your credit says you haven't paid other thing. We'll give you some money. But it's going to cost you 30, 40, 50% interest per annual interest. And some of it.
Forget the annual. Listen, some of these companies, they charge you by the month.
Oh, no, I understand. No, we're talking about, and when you do the actual annual, it can be 700% if you take that long to pay it out. But they're taking a higher risk. And that's the thing about it. I couldn't own one of these companies because you're feeding off the people that you're loaning money to.
Absolutely. And I would feel like, oh, God, because this is the problem. Okay, loaning it out is all well and good, but it's the problem when you're trying to get your money back. That's the problem now that I have. Okay, what are you going to do? How are you going to make them pay you? And what if, as they are telling you the truth, that they do not have it? How are you going to get it from them? What are you going to do?
Well, that's part of the phone call process. Hey, Mary, we're calling you to get this money. When can you pay? Hey, Mary, and I'm calling you the third time. Hey, Mary, the fourth time. Hey, Mary, the fifth time.
Putting a on you. Or it gets. I don't know if you guys. Well, I'm sure you do. I have seen where you have like the banks where they, back in the day they used to call you, but now it's got to the point where they do the automated one. So that just calls you like 20, 30 times.
Exactly. That happens here too. Robocalls.
Yeah, the robocall. That's crazy to me. I'm sorry. That is crazy. And I know we have a little story to mention about that later because and they took them to court and they won, actually. So, yeah, we'll mention that later, people. But, oh, my goodness. I must just say this quickly. We were talking about this because you were asking me about, the recession and stuff. And is the economy picking up over here? Let's just say it's taken a little turn for the worse because in the last few days, obviously, anyone in the UK, you've seen it on the news. There's going to be job losses at the Redcar steel plant, which is losing about 1,700 jobs. Okay, so it's not no little, 1 and 2 here and there, or even hundreds. It's going into the thousands now. And then yesterday they've announced again that Tata Steel is another one. They're going to cut about 1,200 jobs. So this is a lot. And the worst thing about it is that it's happening in the north and the west and east of England, where those places have really not recovered from the recession, and even before the recession their industries were very few and far between. It's not very good up there. The economies are not very good in those parts of the UK. So they're already struggling. Okay, so now they're going to start losing jobs here. It's like a death knell almost. What are those people meant to do? How can they live? And do you remember that? I don't know if you ever remember from years ago when they had the miners. A lot of them miners never worked again. Because
that's a hard industry, and if that's all you knew, it's not like the job skill is different from. Okay, so I'm not a miner anymore. What can I use that skill for? Because
they don't retrain them. It's not like they say to them, okay, we're going to say to you, we're going to retrain you as, I don't know, an IT specialist, and then we're going to try and give you this industry and help you to rebuild. they really don't help them, and they sort of leave them hanging. That obviously the government, to make themselves look good, I think, have said they're going to give them 80 million or whatever it is. But I'm sorry, what exactly are they going to do with that money? Are they retraining them? Are they going to try and push more business to go up there? Who wants to go up there though? Which businesses want to go up there? It's not very many who want to go and relocate or add a new headquarters or wherever in that part of the country to create jobs, is it? So what they're going to do, again, caught between a rock and a hard place. And these are the people that are going to end up on benefits who will probably have to start taking out these types of loans or other loans or whatever. And I must say this, we're having a laugh and joke about the payday loans and the way they carry on. But in all seriousness, when people turn to a payday loan, usually it's because the job they've got doesn't pay very well, and it's not because they want to go out and buy a fancy car or take a fancy holiday or something like that. It's not because they're trying to live outside their means. They're trying to put food on the table and keep a roof over their head. So basically, the fact that they're taking out a loan to do the basics, wow.
Well, that's the scary part. The fact that they don't have it and they have to borrow it, and they've exhausted the people around them because the people around them probably don't have it.
Exactly. This is the thing. And that's when it gets to the point where the economy and things are really bad. Because if you're taking out loans to put food on your table and to pay your bills, that's what your job, if you have one, is supposed to do, isn't it?
Right.
You're not supposed to have to take out extra loans to be able to just cover the basics. And that's what it is over here. People don't take those things out lightly, I don't think. Obviously, you may get one or two, as you said, the con men or the people that just want to go and blow some money, or in the case of that woman who wants to just be stupid and spend money off just for Christmas.
Well, and see, and again, I agree with you that her thought process is skewed.
Yeah.
I'm being politically correct when I say that.
Yeah.
Her thought process is skewed. But she is thinking, and has probably had friends around her who have been doing the same thing. They may have only taken out 4 instead of 7 or something. But
enough.
That's how she lives, and those people, she doesn't have someone around her to encourage her to do things in a better light or a better way. Let me put it that way. And so when you live around people and everybody has that same mentality, it's nothing wrong with it.
Well, that's it, because that's all you know, and everyone thinks that's normal, isn't it?
Right.
If it's not normal, people take note. That's not normal. Try to avoid the payday loans now.
And there's one other thing I wanted to say just to make a point, because we're saying there are people that are being illogical and there are people that are making bad decisions. Right. And I mention this to my lovely wife all the time. We don't know what Jane Doe and Jane and Bobby Johnson are doing in their house. They may look great and they're always polished and the nails are done and the hair is cut and the your pedicure is there and the car is nice, but we don't know that they may be in the background struggling, getting payday loans to make sure they continue to portray this lifestyle they put out there.
The swan syndrome, innit, as I like to call it. The swan syndrome. Some people are better at it than others, I might add. Because you look okay on the outside. In fact, sometimes you don't just look okay. You look great, as you just said. You look amazing. But underneath, behind the scenes, you're paddling like crazy.
Oh, you are pedaling underwater. That duck's feet are just cranking. And on top of the water, the duck just looks like, hey, I'm just cruising along.
So free and just, they're okay. But underneath the water, they're struggling, people. It's a struggle. But I must mention this. Oh, my goodness. Link for you, K-Rose. Now, I must ask you what you think of this, because I sent this to you, didn't I, this video. Minister Louis Farrakhan. He was doing an interview, and in fact, I don't even know how old that interview is, but he did it, and he was saying, let's redistribute the pain. We're going to withdraw our economic support from white corporations and boycott Black Friday, Christmas, and all holiday shopping until the new year. Now, people, I must ask you what you think about this. Would you do this to make a point? Okay, because I'm curious to know. It's something, when I saw that, I see where he's coming from, because I must say, I don't think that, especially us as black people, I don't think that we support each other as we could when it comes to spending our money in, black businesses. We could go and talk about the Black Wall Street. You know what? We probably should do a show on it. But I must ask you what you think about that. What do you think about that, K-Rose?
I believe things like that are positive. Okay. I think that they are ways to get the attention of industry and get the attention of like retailers and corporations. But my only problem is that the people that think like the 7 payday loan person, there are more of that type thought process than there are people who are conscious like yourself or I might be, or people that we may know.
Right. So this is the thing, people. At Ask Avani Show, tell us what you think, because I want to know, what do you think? Would you do that to make a point? Would you try and not, or if you spend your money, would you spend it in other places as opposed to the more commercially based places that are trying to entice you to spend your money for things such as Christmas and other holidays? Or would you look at it and think, you know what? It don't matter. It's my money. I can do what I want. See, this is the thing, Kairos. Do you think it's really going to make a difference if people would do that and just say, okay, I'm going to make a conscious effort to withhold my money over there in America, withhold my dollars, my hard-earned dollars, and say, no, I'm not going to spend it there? Because is it going to deter other people to think twice about taking out loans? I mean, I don't think it will.
Well, it would if hundreds of thousands of people did it.
Right.
But if 100 people or 1,000 people do it, it's not happening. It's not going to make a difference. And I'm not saying that it's like people talk about not voting. I don't vote because it doesn't make a difference. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if we can find a way to get thousands to do it, it would make a difference. They'd pay attention.
Well, yeah, it's true, Yes, well, the Million Man March, people definitely noticed that, didn't they?
Well, but we'll even talk about that after the break. They just had the anniversary of the Million Man March this past weekend, and it was, what I hear from people, a disappointment.
Oh,
so we'll talk about that.
So
I don't want to throw the show off. But
okay, well, going into break then, this is the question I want to know. Okay. Do you think it will make people think twice about taking out loans then? If they, for example, were consciously encouraged to think about how they spend their money, i.e., don't spend your money for things like the so-called, pagan holidays almost. That's what he's trying to call it, isn't it? Christmas and such. So don't take out loans, especially you can't afford it, just to keep up with the Joneses and try to afford quote-unquote Christmas. That's what I want to know, people. At Ask Avani Show, you know what to do. This is your regular place to be on a Saturday afternoon. We're about to take a short break now. So, that's something for you to think about just at this break, and we will be back after this. Hi, this is Avani. You're listening to the Ask Avani Show, and we'll be right back on the other side after this. Hello. Good afternoon, people. Welcome back. This is the Ask Avani Show. You are listening to SoMetro Radio. Woo! If you have just joined us today, where you been? This is your regular Saturday afternoon stop. Oh, my days. Okay, today's show topic is payday loans. Would you really want to work for this type of company as a customer service advisor or even as a bailiff in general? Or does the old saying hold true, neither a borrower nor a lender be? Now, that's a quote from Shakespeare. I just thought I would add that in. And if you don't know, I have actually posted it online as a little picture just to explain the sort of synopsis behind it, just in case anyone's thinking, why does she keep saying that? So it was just something that came to my mind when I was thinking about the show and putting the show together. And I was like, because I have to say, I said this earlier, didn't I? Welcome back to K Rose.
Good morning, good afternoon.
I said this earlier, didn't I? That for me personally, for example, with Christmas, they're driving me nuts over here. Every time I turn on the TV or something, all I'm hearing is Christmas, 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 Christmas. I'm sure there's other people who it's driving crazy too, because they're hardcore over here. We are obsessed with Christmas. And I personally think, okay, I don't know why you're going so crazy over it. It's just one day. 2, I said, if you count Boxing Day, which we have over here in the UK, you guys don't have that. But yeah, it's a day, people. But they will drive you nuts and then some. every time you turn on the TV or wherever you go now, you're going to start seeing everything is geared towards Christmas. I think it's because it's probably one of their most lucrative, shall we say, times of the year. People tend to save all year round just to be able to afford, and I say that quote unquote, afford Christmas. This is how much of a big deal it is over here, okay? And it is driving me nuts. So I'm just sitting there looking at it thinking, oh my goodness. But I have to say,